Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Friday evening, January 31, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because you know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below, let me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so considering that today is the last day of January, we need to have a look at what was predicted on the last day of December for the entire month of January in terms of rainfall. And as such, we're looking at this video that was posted on that day, and it definitely showed that from the CFS as well as the CANSIPS and the other model, the NMME, we were predicted to receive some amount of above normal rainfall, especially across the southwestern Caribbean, Costa Rica, Panama, Honduras, Nicaragua, sections of Jamaica, into portion of the eastern Caribbean. And I guess we could say that it definitely came to fruition in a sense, especially across the southwestern Caribbean. But what was predicted, or what is going to be predicted for the month of February? So we're looking here at the CFS, that's the climate forecast system, and we can see the greens that represent above normal rainfall. We can even see the blues into the purples that represent even more rainfall. All of this in inches, by the way. And we can see all of the colors stretching from the eastern Caribbean to the western Caribbean. Definitely going to be above normal in terms of the rainfall according to this latest CFS, especially across Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana. According to the CFS, the CANSIPS is showing something similar in the same spots, and we can also see the below average rainfall across the northern Caribbean, maybe Cuba, the Bahamas, into portion of the southern United States. Very interesting. And we also see the above normal rainfall from the Caribbean stretching all the way down into portion of northern South America, and even the NMME model is showing something similar. So it's going to be interesting to see if that actually verifies. Either way, in terms of what is being predicted by the CARICOF, that's the Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum, from the time period around January to February as well as March 2025, we can see the browns represents below normal rainfall stretching from Jamaica into the Cayman Islands, into Cuba as well as the Bahamas, with average rainfall in the whites definitely expected for Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, while above normal rainfall is expected across the eastern Caribbean, into Guyana as well as portion of the ABC Islands. Very interesting. We'll see if that actually unfolds. Either way, it's kind of in consensus with what the other models were showing, especially for the Cayman Islands, Cuba, and the Bahamas. Not necessarily Jamaica, because we saw portions of Jamaica being shaded in some slight greens. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what unfolds, if we actually get a taste of the rainfall or not. Alright, so we're not in hurricane season. We know that the hurricane season runs from June to November, but we're heading into the month of February. And although we don't have any activity during this month, that's February, we need to highlight the history of February storms. And we see here from Wikipedia that there's at least one recorded storm on record, and this was dubbed the 1952 Groundhog Day Tropical Storm. And it took place, well, it formed, according to Wikipedia, on February 4, 1952, and then it became extra tropical on February 4, and then it dissipated on February 5. And we can see the image right here highlighting its path So for reference, you have Jamaica right here, and it formulated in February. Yes, can you believe it? And that's not a month that the hurricane season is basically tying into. And we can see the low pressure system right here to the east of the Yucatan, pushing northeastward into portions of the territories near western Cuba, crossing over southern Florida and pushing northeastward, where it became the tropical storm right here in the light blue circles, and then it dissipated and pushed off towards the north and east. So these things have happened before. It's definitely rare considering that it only took place, or these records from Wikipedia actually showing it that it happened in 1952. Very interesting. I'm pretty sure that that's not going to be happening in 2025 though. Either way, I'll keep you posted with whatever occurs. If we take a look at the sea surface temperature anomalies, we definitely have to keep our eyes focused on this, because we can see that the Atlantic is definitely still very warm with all of these yellows, oranges right here, and that could definitely be fuel for the upcoming hurricane season, because whatever comes off of Africa is going to be using up all of this warm water and pushing westward as usual around the ridges of high pressure to the north. And we still have that La Nina stretching from the eastern portions of the Pacific into the central Pacific, as represented by those blue colors. Definitely La Nina like pattern as we speak, and it's forecast to become back to neutral, if not a weak El Nino. We'll see exactly what unfolds as we head into the hurricane season, and whatever happens, I'll definitely keep you posted. Taking a look at the next 7 days in terms of what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models are showing, we're going to be looking at the next 168 hours, so keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here, as we look for all of what we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens represent inches of rainfall. So we can see that as we head into Saturday, we do have some moisture passing to the south of the island, some of it coming into eastern parishes for sure. Then during the afternoon, spilling across sections of central and western parishes. Sunday, not too much of anything at all. Maybe some isolated showers here and there across the south or the southwest by the end of the day on Sunday. Monday, not much in store for the morning, but the afternoon showing some isolated showers across the eastern and western ends of the island. Tuesday, northeastern parishes with some amount of morning rainfall. We also see some rainfall across sections of some southern and western parishes. Very interesting. Wednesday, we also see some morning rainfall on the northeastern side of the island. Then during the afternoon, across sections of some south central parishes. Thursday, northeastern parishes with the rainfall once again. Maybe section of central and western parishes during Thursday afternoon. Friday, some rainfall across sections of some southern parishes right there. Well, I guess we're jumping the gun, so we're going right back to Friday, February 7, 2025. So this is the forecast for the end of the 168 hours, and you can see some moisture that should be plaguing sections of eastern Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, eastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas, the waters to the south of Jamaica. Let us see if we can match what we just saw on the Euro to the latest GFS. Let's see what's in store. So Saturday, we do see the moisture to the east of Jamaica for sure. By the end of the day, maybe affecting sections of some southern and western parishes. Sunday, not seeing much at all. Maybe some isolated showers across the south and the west. Monday, let's see what's in store. Maybe some isolated showers across the northeast. And Tuesday, something similar, spilling into sections of some southern and western parishes during the afternoon. Wednesday, northeastern Jamaica once again, spilling into sections of central and western parishes during Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, eastern and central Jamaica with that afternoon rainfall. And even as we head into Friday, stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours, we see something similar to what the Euro was showing, and we're referring to the rainfall that's going to be plaguing eastern Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. We also see some isolated showers to the east of Jamaica right there. Not seeing much of it to the south of us like what the Euro was showing. We'll see exactly what unfolds either way in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now all the way up until Friday, February 7. And we can clearly see that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be where we have all of these reds into burgundies that we know from the key on the right represents 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. The purples into the pinks that represents 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. And we can clearly see that the most rainfall over the next 7 days, according to this GFS, should be across the eastern Yucatan, Belize, sections of northern and eastern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, into Colombia right here. Something similar to what the other models are showing. You can also see rainfall definitely in the forecast for maybe western Venezuela, southern Venezuela, sections of Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana right here, into portion of the eastern Caribbean, anywhere from Barbados northward, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominica, Guadeloupe, section of the Leeward Islands, especially into portion of the Dominican Republic, as well as eastern Cuba and northeastern Jamaica. And we clearly see that not only the GFS is showing that, but even the Euro right here, especially across those areas across Central to South America. Those are the spots that are going to be picking up the most in the way of rainfall. So there could be some amount of isolated flash flooding taking place. So we hope that the persons who reside in those areas take the necessary precautions so that they are not that drastically affected. If we take a closer look at Jamaica regarding our precipitation outlook for the next 7 days, we can clearly see that we're starting to get in on a mixture of the above normal rainfall in terms of the greens across sections of some southern and western parishes according to both the Euro and the GFS models. Maybe section of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester getting in on the mix, because one time it used to be all northeast Jamaica, St. Ann, St. Mary, Portland. Even although they're still going to be receiving brunt of the rainfall, we see that some of it is starting to spill into sections of some southern parishes over the next 7 days, even including St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Thomas for sure. But clearly the most rainfall is still going to be plaguing the northeast. We're talking about St. Mary, Portland, especially Portland, where the year is showing up to 55 millimeters of rainfall, and the GFS up to 48 millimeters of rainfall right there. We'll see exactly what unfolds, and we'll definitely be here to keep you posted on our other social media platform with what occurs. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we have a ridge of high pressure right here to the north of the eastern Caribbean, and to the southeast of that ridge we have a frontal system intertwined with some troughs. One trough right here, another, well, the frontal system right here, and another trough right here to the north of that frontal system, another ridge of high pressure right here to the northwest of Africa. And we know these ridges of high pressure are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of the entities that we just mentioned. The frontal system right in here, as well as the trough that it has induced, stretching and pushing some moisture into portions of the Turks and Caicos, southern Bahamas right there, even portion of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. We're getting some of the activity earlier today, and we can definitely make out the low level flow being steered, well, the clouds being steered from east to west, the mid to low level clouds, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Friday, January 31, 2025. It was stated in yesterday's video that parts of northern and eastern Jamaica would have received some morning rainfall on Friday, also affecting sections of some northern and western parishes during Friday afternoon. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Ann, St. Mary, Portland. Southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Thomas. Eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 8:26 a.m., the visible satellite image was posted not only here on our Twitter page Weather Jamaica, but they are also posted on our Instagram page weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So looking at the visible satellite image, You can see that we definitely had some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers, plaguing the island this morning, stretching from the east to the west, definitely across sections of St. Thomas, Portland, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and Hanover. Definitely picked up on some amount of isolated shore activity. If I didn't say St. Catherine, they definitely got on some of the action too. And then by around 5:15 p.m., the visible satellite images were posted, and they were showing the clouds being steered westward. Look at the easterly flow, the brisk easterly flow of the clouds, pushing them to the west. And by this time, we're still getting on some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers, across sections of some western parishes, including Westmoreland, Hanover, maybe St. James, St. Elizabeth, and inland areas of some central parishes, to include maybe northern Clarendon, northern Manchester, maybe southwestern St. Anne, southern Trelawney, right there. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before all was said and done, we were even seeing a nice line of showers coming into portions of Portland and St. Mary before we lost the sunlight right there. And while that was happening, we were also still seeing those clouds across sections of inland areas of St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland right there. And even the infrared close-up satellite imagery, not seeing much in the way of thunderstorm clouds at all. No colors here. There's some milky white shades, all of which have pushed off to the west by now. And if we take a look at See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing what the weather was like across Crossroads, definitely got in on some moderate to slightly heavy rainfall for sure. This is strange for January. This definitely took place at 9:50 a.m. This is blinding rainfall. I definitely got some of this today in my portion of Kingston. And we're indeed grateful for the cool down because it has been hot. So we're grateful that we're actually getting some dry season rainfall, and we hope that this continues. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel. They have these live streams for your viewing pleasure, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. And we definitely have some comments here from some of our followers on our YouTube page as well as on our other social media platforms. First, we have Charlene Morris 2337 stating, yeah, we had a great shower here in Westmoreland, Jamaica. We also have some comments here from our last video from Neil Davis B8B stating, good night weather Jamaica, we're having night showers to highlight the rainfall last night. We also have Shane Golding 4251 posting 13 hours ago, it's raining here in northern Clarendon, thanks be to God. And we also have Great T Crazy Dog World 2893 stating, it seems like 2025 is going to be a very wet year for Jamaica and the Caribbean. I'm already seeing the signs with how the weather has been behaving, and I believe that as well, because usually whichever way the year starts out, like in January with rainfall, usually that is the case throughout the entire year. Usually, not always, because I remember, if not, yes, it was 2021 how we got so many systems, especially in, I believe, July into August, and then I believe the end of September into October and November. Definitely different in terms of the weather, but we'll see exactly what happens. I'll keep you posted. Usually, in most cases, whichever way the weather is basically portraying its behavior from at the beginning of the year is usually what happens throughout the end of the year. So we'll see if this actually persists with the wet weather for sure. Taking a look at some other comments here from our Tik Tok followers. We have Royal stating overcast, Kevin Mechanic JM stating, same as how you say it, overcast, and I am in Ocharia St. And we have Stacy stating it's raining here in Clarendon. Even on our Instagram page, we had Anna Marie 2640 stating rain stopped falling minutes ago from 4 a.m. in parts of St. James. Matthew Sant Clark stating Manchester raining. Nods _ Nikki stating raining in southeast Clarendon. We even have realm underscore JA stating, what a sudden rain, Portmore, give thanks for it. Send on more, Father God. And Marlon stating, overcast sky in Clarendon. And we have at least one comment here from Lance Brown on our Facebook page stating it's raining in his ear. And if we take a look at what's happening right now, the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing that as of 0105 UTC, which is actually 8:05 p.m. So this just came out, what, 5, 10, 14 minutes ago, considering that it's 8:19 p.m. now. Don't see much of anything right now. We do see the milky white colors represent the clouds to the west of the island, maybe some dots of clouds to the northeast. But that's basically clear across the island as we speak. Unfortunately, we don't have the Cuban Doppler radar imagery to confirm this. Seems like it glitched out at, well, it's still glitched out. We highlighted this yesterday, sometime between January 29 and January 30. Don't see anything updating one bit. But we have, thankfully, the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar imagery right here, highlighting some isolated shores across eastern Cuba, some isolated shores to the northeast of the island. But that's basically it. Taking a look at the Cayman radar, what do we see here? We do make out some isolated shores to the west of Jamaica, passing to the south of the Cayman Islands. Not seeing much activity across western Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, or southern Cuba at all. Taking a look right now on the Flatbridge camera, as of 8:20 p.m., we can see people in their vehicles going about their business. The Rio Cobra definitely chilling. Nothing in terms of bad weather going to be expected tonight at all. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, it could be warmer than this for sure right now, but it's going to be lowering as the night progresses. Either way, these are the estimated temperatures. Montego Bay 25 degrees Celsius, Kingston 26 degrees Celsius. And by about 4 a.m. on Saturday, temperatures could dip down to about 23 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Saturday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Saturday, and we can see Jamaica right here, embedded in some slight orange colors that we can see from the key on the right, that represents up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperature for the month of February is around 86 point, let's say 4. So it's at least 0.1 degrees Fahrenheit below what January usually shows. So remember, it's about 86.5 in January. Now it's 86.4 in February. That's around, if not close to 32, well, 30.2, maybe 30.1 degrees Celsius, if not 30 degrees Celsius at most, for Jamaica's temperature in February. And we know that if we're going to be receiving up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, for Saturday it's going to be anywhere from 30 to 32 degrees Celsius at most. And we're indeed grateful that my JPS Online is taking a day off on Saturday. No maintenance outage advisories. I would definitely have to highlight these for sure, because we know that when we have outages, it can definitely exacerbate the heat, making the heat even worse, because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So we're glad that for Saturday, no parish is expected to receive any maintenance outages. Either way, if tomorrow is a bit too hot for you, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing, and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors, and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine, as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated. Put away the sugary drinks, drink water instead. The dry air map is still dominating the entire, the dry air map is still dominating the entire Atlantic, even although we have bits and pieces of moist air in some spots like Jamaica. We're indeed grateful, we're not complaining. We can clearly see that the most dry air is right off the coast of Africa, where we have those reds and whites within those reds. And we know the dry air can definitely put a lid on the atmosphere in general, but we're indeed grateful that we've been getting on some moist air recently in the Jamaica area. What we're not happy about though is the fact that some Saharan dust is on its way. This is the forecast for 2 p.m. on Saturday, February 1. and we can definitely make out some slight browns to represent the Saharan dust right in here across the southern Caribbean, northern South America, into portion of the eastern Caribbean right here. There's some slight Saharan dust, nothing too significant, but it's clear that it's pushing westward, so who knows, maybe some of this might make it into Jamaica right here next week. Whatever happens, I'll keep you posted. Either way, we're grateful that we're not seeing that vigorous plume of dust that we know is represented by the dark shades of browns that can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow. Not much change in the waves at all. Still having the highest waves in the purples, pinks, burgundies across the southwestern Caribbean, the central Caribbean, into the eastern Caribbean, especially to the east of the eastern Caribbean, representing anywhere from 2 to 3 meter wave heights for sure. Let's see Jamaica's north coast tomorrow up to at least 1.3 meter wave heights. Jamaica's south coast 2.1, southeast 2.5, and that's because of the winds that are going to be expected. Clearly we see more of an easterly flow across the entire Caribbean, with the bright greens into yellows that we can see from the key on the bottom right, that represents anywhere from 15 all the way up to 25 knots, especially to the north of Colombia and Panama right there. That's where the highest waves should be. And we can also see more of a northeasterly flow of the wind across the Gulf of Mexico. But regarding Jamaica's close-up, we can clearly see what's going to be expected. 11 knots on the north coast, definitely up to 20 knots is where it's going to be going. On the south coast, we can definitely expect some isolated showers. Who knows, maybe some of what's coming in from the east could definitely bring some isolated showers into sections of eastern Jamaica. Then during the afternoon, we see that the air could pile up across maybe sections of some central and western parishes. We'll see exactly what unfolds. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Upper level winds kind of coming in from the west northwest, so that could favor the south coast, bringing more of the activity, pushing it off towards the south. Whatever occurs, I'll keep you posted, so stay tuned on our social media platforms. Either way, regarding the rainfall forecast maps, this map here from the Euro and this map here from the GFS are both showing 10 a.m. on Saturday. The Euro is showing some of this rainfall that we see, especially to the south of us, on land across eastern parishes. The GFS, not seeing much of it to the south of us, but we do see it to the southeast of us, east of St. Thomas. Maybe some of this could definitely get on land, just like what the Euro is showing. I'll definitely keep you posted at 10 a.m. tomorrow regarding whatever takes place. It could definitely happen sooner than that or even later than that. Then, by around 3 p.m. on Saturday, look at what is being shown on both maps. Some blues represent isolated shores across mainly sections of some southern and western parishes, maybe St. Andrew, Kingston, maybe sections of Clonard, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, maybe southern St. James. Clearly both the Euro and the GFS models are adamant about the southern and western thing. We'll see exactly what unfolds tomorrow. Either way, in terms of both accumulated precipitation forecast maps from the Euro and the GFS, the Euro definitely adamant that there's going to be rainfall somewhere across Jamaica tomorrow, stretching from the east to the western end. The Euro showing all the way up to 0.3 of an inch of rainfall across the east. The GFS not so enthused. The most rainfall across the east is at least up to 0.08 of an inch of rainfall. The west or the northwest end up to 0.12 of an inch of rainfall. Either way, we'll take it. We are in the month of February. In February, we usually receive this looks like what 90 millimeters of rainfall in Kingston. In Montego Bay, we usually receive this still looks like 75 millimeters, if not 2.9 inches of rainfall. So 74, 2.9, whichever it is still a little bit of rainfall. It's not the driest month of the year, but we're in the peak of our fire season now. February, lots of fire trucks going up and down the place, putting out bushfires, if not building or house fires. So I hope people have been conserving water, hoping people have been, taking necessary precautions so that they're not affected by the fire season. Either way, if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of February or for any other month, you can visit www.weather-and-climate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus your attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have some low-level clouds pushing from east-west across the basin. Definitely bring some isolated showers to section of Hispaniola. Puerto Rico got into some of the action, so too sections up the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. We also see sections of southeastern Nicaragua and Costa Rica getting in some of the action too. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let's see what's happening down there right now. Not much of anything across Puerto Rico, the US, and British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, St. Kitts, Antigua and Barbuda. But we do see some isolated showers to the east of there, maybe affecting Guadeloupe as well. Let's load these images from earlier today and see what was taking place. You can see some isolated shores that were passing through Puerto Rico, some of the activity right here to the east of Dominica. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, we do see some isolated shores coming in from the east-northeast towards Barbados. Some of it could already be affecting Barbados, with more to come. Section of Martinique, so too St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Grenadines definitely getting some isolated shores as we speak. We can also scroll down and even see some rainfall passing through Trinidad and Tobago, and we can see it even better on the weather wave Doppler radar images right here. Not seeing much happening on the ABC Islands radar, but we do see that moisture coming into portion of the Dominican Republic as well. And if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that the most rainfall over the next 24 hours from now until 10 p.m. on Saturday should be plaguing the area right here across Central America into northwestern South America. So Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and some isolated showers in the greens and the yellows that represents anywhere from 0.1 of an inch of rainfall all the way up to 0.4 of an inch of rainfall. Proportion of southern Venezuela, Guyana, section of Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent, maybe a section of Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, section of the Dominican Republic, eastern Cuba, and the Yucatan Peninsula, as well as the Cayman Islands. And we clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.